Thank you once again for joining me. It's day 40 of our 7-week spiritual journey. It's a pleasure to have you for day 40. God will show you other giving opportunities worthy of your support. James 1 verse 27, the Christian who is pure and without fault from God the Father's point of view is the one who takes care of orphans and widow and who remains true to God. So in everything that we do, God requires us to remain true to Him, and we are to give. So in James, we identify the orphans and widows that we can give. In Job chapter 29, verse 12 to 13, I rescued the poor who cried for help, and the fatherless who had none to assist him. The man who was dying blessed me. I made the widow's heart sing. So in Job, we identified the poor or the homeless and those who were sick. In Hebrews 13 verse 2 to 3, it reads, do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing, some people have entertained angels without knowing it. Remember those in prison as if you were their fellow prisoners, and those who are mistreated as if you were yourself suffering. So in Hebrews, we identified the strangers. It's more like an hospitality kind of giving ministry. Prisoners and those who are suffering or abused. Philippians 4 verse 14 reads, Paul said to the Christians in Philippi, you have done right in helping me in my present difficulties. Acts 28 verse 10, they honored us in many ways, and when we were ready to sail, they furnished us with the supplies we needed. So it's basically supporting those who are in active ministry, especially pastors and ministers and volunteers committed fully in the gospel. In one of the previous days reading, it tells us that those who give and those who are in front line have an equal responsibility or opportunity to serve God, either through giving or through frontline workers in the active ministry. In the book Dynamic Steward, Volume 3, Number 3, it reads, worship is a life lived in grace, experiencing God's grace and extending it to those around us. The experience of salvation changes the way we see and treat each other. For Christ's love compels us. He died for all. Those who lived should no longer live for themselves, but for Him who died for them and was raised again. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, 14 to 17. So in our reading, we identified 8 other giving opportunities that is worthy of our support. 1, the orphans. 2, the widows. 3, those who are poor and homeless. 4, those who are sick and in hospital. 5, those who are strangers. 6, prisoners. 7, those who are suffering or are abused or going through some form of violence. And number 8, we have to support pastors and ministers who are actively involved. So 8 areas that we can also give to support those areas identified, those main 8 areas that we have identified. Someone by the name of John Bunyan made a statement around 1688 that reads, you have not lived until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. So that's for our day 40. There are other giving opportunities that is worthy of our support, and 8 of which we have identified. Thank you and God bless.